This session is called SharePoint 2013 Lists. Working with lists. Everything in SharePoint is stored in a list. A document library is just a list that stores files. Lists are really rows of information that are separated into columns. You can think of a list of tasks, announcements, etc. Here's, here's an overview of lists. Lists are rich and flexible and have many built-in features that provide a robust way to store, share, and work with data. You can create a list with a variety of columns, including text, number, choice, currency, date and time, lookup, yes, no, and calculated. You can also attach one or more files to a list item to provide additional details, such as a spreadsheet containing supporting numbers or a document containing background information. You can create list views to organize, sort, and filter data in different and specific ways. You can change the metadata, such as adding and deleting columns and modifying validation rules. And you can use lists consistently across sites with content types, site columns, and templates. For example, you can view just the current events from a calendar in your homepage and create a more visual view, much similar to a wall calendar on another page. You can create relationships between lists by using a combination of unique columns, lookup columns, and relationship enforcement, which includes cascade and restrict delete, all of which enhance your ability to create more sophisticated business solutions and help preserve the integrity of your data. You can create custom lists, display the data in web parts and web part pages, and import, export, and link data from other programs, such as Microsoft Excel or Access. You can track versions and detailed history. You can require approval to modify data. You can use item level and folder security, check in and check out, and automatically stay informed about the changes by using alerts and RSS feeds. You can organize content in a single list into folders for added convenience and better performance, and improve performance in general with large lists by using indexing. Working with lists. You can access list items by clicking on them in the list to open, or you can go Edit Item from the dialog box and then check the box beside the item and click on Edit. You can also delete list items similarly. When you want to add an item to a list, first you locate the list and then you click on Add New Item below the list. It's usually this hyperlink with a green plus arrow. Or you can go up to the ribbon and use the New Item button in the Items tab of the ribbon. If you click on either one of those, it brings up this form that helps you fill out the list. So basically, you complete the information that's in the form, and then you click on Save to save your data in that list item. Types of lists. There are several different types of lists in SharePoint. First type of list is a calendar. A calendar in a collaboration site allows for the posting of team-specific events, deadlines, and meetings. You can think of birthdays, anniversaries, weekly team meetings, etc. The second type of list is an announcements list. Announcements are time-based new items that alert team members to promotions, deadlines, or any other newsworthy items. Third type of list is a task list. The collaboration site is for team collaboration on a project. It can do lightweight project management as a way to track project status. One way it does this is through the use of the task lists. Tasks are assignable work items. So, for example, tickets assignable to an individual where status, progress, predecessor and successor tasks, and priority can be tracked. Please note here in the LCBO, if you're working on an IT project plan, it should really be done in EPM or Enterprise Project Management through CPIO, where they will create a project workspace alongside your online project plan. The fourth type of list is a links list. On the collaboration home site, there is a useful links section which serves that purpose. It has relevant links to pages, sites, and documents for you to share with your team. The fifth type of list is a custom list where you can create your own custom list to track items, data, anything that you might store, for example, in an Excel spreadsheet. And then the last type of list type we're talking about here is where you can import an Excel spreadsheet. You can bring an Excel workbook in as a list in SharePoint. This means that anything that you've previously tracked in Excel can be easily imported into a SharePoint list. How to create a custom list. Well, first you navigate to the site and then click on the settings wheel up in the upper right hand corner of the site. You click on add an app and then that's one way of doing it. Or if you go through view all site contents and then in the site contents page, you can click on add an app. Second, you select custom list from your apps page. Third, in the pop-up box, you type in a name for your custom list. And then fourth, your new list is now displayed in the site contents page. If you'd like to find out more about how to create a custom list, there's a great reference URL here on this slide. I have a short video that will show you how to create a SharePoint list. Please follow along.
Okay, so here we have our blank SharePoint 2013 site, and we need to create our lists that we're going to be using for our parent-child list relationship. So to create those lists, you want to click on Site Contents. This is like View All Site Content in SharePoint 2010. And you see that we don't have the option to create, we have the option to add an app. And this is how you create a list in SharePoint 2013, at least through the SharePoint interface. So we click on Add an App, and we want to click on Custom List. And we're going to create our parent list, and it is going to be called Issues. So when we create that, you see our list got created, Issues. Now we're going to add another app, Custom List, and this is going to be our child list, and our child list is going to be called Time, because theoretically we are logging time against an issue. The other library we're going to need for our application is going to be a document library that's going to hold our scripts that we'll be using. So once again, click on Add an App. We're going to add a document library, and we're going to call this Site Assets. So now we have our parent list, our child list, and our script library. The next thing we need to do is add a lookup from our child list to our parent list so it knows which issue is associated with a time entry. So click on the time list, and you see we have the option to do a new item or edit this list. We want to edit this list. And we get this little plus sign to add a column. So click on add a column, and then we want to select more column types. We're going to create a column called issue. Which issue does this time entry belong to? And it's going to be a lookup to the issues list title field. Go ahead and click OK. And you can see the field got added, title and issue. So if we go to our issues list, let's go ahead and create a couple of issues so we've got some data. So let's click on new item, and let's put in need more RAM. And let's add one more item, and we'll add that and call it need bigger SSD, because we need this stuff to develop in SharePoint 2013. So now we have two issues. Now when we go to the time list, let's say we add an entry, and let's say we bought some RAM, and we want to assign that to the proper issue, which is need more RAM. Now ideally, stop that SharePoint. Ideally, this would be set for me automatically, and I wouldn't have to select need more RAM, and that's the whole point of what we're going to do with our scripts. Our scripts are going to set this value for you automatically. So let's head and click save on that, and you can see we have our bought some RAM for the issue need more RAM. The last thing we'll do with this video is we need to upload the scripts that we're going to be using. It's going to be setting the fields for us. So let's click on the Site Assets library, and you can see we can either add a document or drag files here. I like the drag files here functionality, so I'm just going to do that. Let's open up our scripts. Here they are. We'll highlight them, and look, we can just drag and drop them here, and it uploads the scripts for us. Alright, so we're all set, and we're ready to go to the next part of our little application.
Adding lists and libraries. Lists and libraries in SharePoint are now called apps. To get to the apps or to add a new app, you go Site Actions, View All Site Content. All the lists and libraries that are in your current site are listed. If you want to add a new list or library, you just click on Add an App. Here's a page that shows all the lists and libraries in this current site. And we want to add a new app, so all we would have to do is click on Add an App to create a new list or library in SharePoint. Here's a listing of the SharePoint apps that you can use. You can create a document library, a forum library, a wiki page library, a picture library, links, announcements, contacts, and calendar. And also, if you want to create a custom list, you would select this one here. That's our demonstration of SharePoint lists. Please contact IT Digital Web Services if you have any further questions. Thank you.